Yo, what's up guys? You got PokeaimMD here with another competitive Pokemon Sun and Moon moveset video guide analysis, whatever you want to call it. This time we're going to be talking about Salazzle. Now before we get into Salazzle, I just want to say you can check out any of the previous moveset videos down below. There is a link in the description, a playlist, and also feel free to follow me on Twitch and Twitter. I'll be streaming later this evening when I get back from the mall, I believe. So whether that's closer tonight or just around 6, 7, I don't know. You can feel free to follow me and know when that's happening. But yeah, Salazzle, I love this Pokemon. Its pre-evolution Salandit is one of my favorite new Pokemon, easily. Obviously that's not why you're here, but I just wanted to mention that it is Poison and Fire type. It has amazing base 117 speed and great base 111 special attack. Unfortunately, its Spadef and defenses are really lackluster, which sucks because Poison and Fire is a really cool type. It has 8 resistances: Fighting, Poison, Bug, Steel, Fire, Grass, Ice, and Fairy, and it's only weak to 4 different types: Ground, Rock, Water, and Psychic. Unfortunately, all those types are very common right now, but the big thing with Salazzle is that it has this new ability called Corrosion. And it means this Pokemon can poison or badly poison other Pokemon regardless of their typing. Meaning that Salazzle can poison steel types and can poison poison types, which is amazing. And I have no idea why my EVs didn't save. But it's ridiculous because this Pokemon can poison even the bulkiest Pokemon like Mega Venusaur, like Heatran. Heatran is the Pokemon that loves its leftovers the most, I feel. It's a Pokemon that doesn't have reliable recovery outside of maybe rest or going for Protect to get more leftovers. So when you can actually status a mon that was previously immune to being burnt and poisoned, I think it has, it has a little niche in. It has its niche in OU just because of that. But Salazzle, the first set we're going to be talking about, is the set that I've had the most success with, and it's not Nasty Plot, but that's actually sub-disable. Now, the idea of this set is you sub up versus something that normally beats you. Let's say a Specs Tapu Lele, you sub up on their Psychic, then you disable them, they can no longer Psychic you. You sub up again, and then you Toxic whatever comes in. This also works versus Toxapex, who generally its only attacking move, it's Scald. You can sub up, and then you can Toxic them, they go for Scald, they break your sub, you disable them, and now they can no longer touch you. If they have Sludge Bomb, it's not breaking your sub. Well, I don't even know why would they have Sludge Bomb. Generally, Scald is better on that mon. But then you can sub, Toxic Saw them, and just click Flamethrower repeatedly. So the EV spread, it's just maxed out HP. Well, actually 248. That way it's an odd number, so you can switch into Stealth Rock more times. Max speed to take advantage of its high base speed, and then 8 Spadef. Now, it's sub-toxic Flamethrower disable. I prefer Flamethrower over Venoshock, but Venoshock is also another option. I like Flamethrower because you're already naturally faster than Metagross with this EV spread, so you can hit that boy with like a 2-hit KO with Flamethrower anyway. Though you can Toxic it, which is pretty cool, but Metagross, all of its attacks are going to be breaking your sub. Zen Headbutt, Earthquake, anything like that, it's going to be breaking your sub. But I really do like Flamethrower because it gives you an option to hit steel types. Also revenge Pokemon such as Scizor, hit Ferrothorn obviously for some nice damage to Listilla and whatnot. Skarmory, where you can still Toxic them, yeah. But the idea of this set is to sub-Toxic everything, whether it be Heatran, which only move that it can have that can break your sub, or at least force you out, besides Roar would be Earth Power. You can Toxic Stall that, and a lot of Pokemon appreciate Heatran being worn down. I'm talking Pokemon like Latios, Latias, and I'll talk about obviously the Pokemon that work well with it. But just to say right now, Toxicking a Heatran is amazing for a Dragon type like Latios or Latias because they could just click Psyshock and then wear it down with a Toxic plus the Psychic move respectively. But again, Venoshock is also an option. It does become doubled if the opponent is poisoned. So you can always run Venoshock, but I like it's like Hex for poison types, but I like the ability to hit steel types with Flamethrower, especially because I'm already naturally faster than Metagross. It would be really cool if Corrosion let you hit steel types as well, like Heatran, like Metagross, with poison moves in general, but unfortunately it only works this way. It's still a great ability though, it's an amazing ability. I feel like Salazzle isn't the best mon to have it. I don't know if you guys watched that live where I used the Porygon, but I traced the Salazzle with my Porygon, I got Corrosion, and I was able to Toxic Stall Metagross. I was able to Toxic Stall Salazzle just because of that, and those are huge threats to my team, so Corrosion is such a cool ability. Next up, we have Nasty Plot. Now, this thing does have a high base speed, allowing you to outspeed Pokemon such as Superior, Latios, Latias, Thundurus, Garchomp, and whatnot. Pokemon in that speed tier. So, we have a Nasty Plot offensive set. So, Fire Blast and Sludge Wave are your two stabs. You can also run Flamethrower. If you don't want to miss. However, Fire Blast hits ridiculously hard. That boy's OHKO and Mega Metagross without any boosts, so it hits really hard. Also, +2 Fire Blast can knock out Venusaur as well, regardless, Mega Venusaur regardless of Thick Fat. So that's why I like Fire Blast, just for the outright power. Sludge Wave is your strongest poison type attack, and now it's Hidden Power. Your last move is either Hidden Power or Dragon Pulse. Dragon Pulse is there because it can knock out like Latios and Garchomp at +2. However, typically Hidden Power, Ice, Fire, not Fire. Hidden Power, Ice, Ground, or Fighting is better. Hidden Power, Ice allows you to still do massive damage to Latios. I mean, you do more damage with Sludge Wave anyway, but at +2. But it lets you damage Pokemon such as Landers. That way you don't have to miss Fire Blast. It lets you hit Pokemon like Dragonite, like Garchomp with Hidden Power Ice. So that's why that's an option, though generally Sludge Wave hits, or Fire Blast hits most of those mons anyway. Hidden Power Ground is an option if you want to be able to hit Pokemon such as Heatran, which would otherwise wall your set. Mainly Heatran, Marowak, a Alolan form. So mainly those two mons. And then Hidden Power Fighting is also an option as it deals with Tyranitar. And you actually outspeed Scarf Tyranitar as well. So +2 Hidden Power Fighting is going to hurt that mon, and you don't have to sack your IVs in this generation. Hidden Power Fighting would normally be an imperfect speed IV, but you don't have to sack your IVs in this generation just because of the way it works. And like I said, you are faster than Choice Scarf T-Tar, so you outspeed that variant. So those are the three options for Hidden Power. The item is Life Orb. Again, obviously the EV spread is just max speed, max special attack, Force Death. Force Death helps versus download, so if you're facing like a Porygon, you're facing like something like that, they don't get special attack raise, they get an attack raise, which doesn't really help them versus you. Life Orb is the preferred item. It gives you a lot more power. You can run Focus Sash if you have Defog, though. I've seen a lot of Salazzle with Focus Sash. I'm not really a fan of it, but versus slower teams that lack priority, it definitely is deadly, as it allows it to set up. Salazzle is one of those mons that just pairs so well right now, or that is, I think, so scary right now because a lot of the common Pokemon, Mega Metagross or all the top woos, are weak to it, and it outspeeds them. So very scary mon. You can also run a Fire EMZ. You can run the Poison EMZ. I'm assuming I'm saying that right. I'm pretty sure they just added EM to the end of it right here. Yeah, Poison EMZ. Yeah, or Z as Duncan would say, because that's the correct way to say Z. Yeah, the Life Orb offensive set is just a more offensive take to Salazzle, and it definitely pulls it off because this boy forces switches. You have a Celesteela out, you have a Metagross out, you have a Skarmory out, you're switching out, man. You have a type of Woodle out, you're definitely switching out. That boy is dying. So, Nasty Plot up, and potentially sweep your opponent's team. The other set is Taunt Toxic. This is similar to Taunt Hex, Will-O-Wisp, Gengar. But the idea of this set is to stop your opponent from recovering. So, Heatran, if it doesn't have Earth Power, can't really touch you, so the other thing it would do is Stealth Rock, phase you out. You can taunt it, prevent it from even going for Protect, Toxic it, wear it down, taunt Pokemon, like maybe Toxapex, preventing them from going for Toxic Spikes. And the first move is either Venoshock or Sludge Wave. Again, Venoshock doubled when you poison something, so it's a ridiculously strong move. Sludge Wave, just strong in general. It's just a Taunt Toxic set. You don't have to run offensive, but I like the idea of doing massive damage with Fire Blast or Sludge Wave prior to wearing them down with toxic damage. But Taunt makes you be more of a stall breaker as well. Stop Chansey from recovering. Stop it from Thunder Waving your team. Obviously, you have low base HP, so Seismic Toss is gonna 3 KO you almost. But that's why you have Black Sludge recovery and whatnot to, again, still make this thing a threat. It's kind of like using the Sub-Disabled set and the Nasty Plot set in one, I would say. Mainly because you're just running offensive, but you're still running Black Sludge for the recovery. And this set functions around toxicking and wearing down your opponent and stopping them from recovering. Stopping Pokemon that might go off a miss, but still having the outright power of Fire Blast and Sludge Wave. So Venoshock is also an option. And now we're going to go into the other options that Salazzle does have. I mentioned Fire EMZ. I mentioned the Poison EMZ. giving it some nice options there. It does have access to knockoff. I just feel like you can't really fit it on a set. Like, I could see knockoff, toxic, fire blast, sludge wave. Yeah, but I would rather use sub disable. I'd rather use not an acid plot. I would even rather use taunt. But knockoff is still a good move. I mean, it gets rid of your opponent's item, especially when you can toxic them, wears them down. Overheat packed with PokeaimMD is ridiculously strong. I got roasted by that while I was playing, so I definitely think it deserves an option. Will-O-Wisp is an option, but I feel like that's a waste of its ability. And Burn has been nerfed. It does 6% now, so it's, I don't know, man. I'd rather toxic my opponent with a Pokemon that never misses toxic because it's a poison type. That's a huge thing. It never misses toxic because it's a poison type. So I'd rather toxic them and wear them down. And Encore is, again, another option. I'd rather have taunt. I'd rather have sub disable, but it is in its move pool. It is something you can learn. It also learns like Dragon Tail. It also learns Fake Out. All probably better double options at that. And then it doesn't have the worst physical move pool. Okay, it might actually have the worst physical move pool, but I mean, Poison Jab, Flame Charge, all that stuff. I could see stuff like that being gimmicky, but maybe work out if you catch your opponent off guard. But again, this mon, most of the time, you're just going to want to go timid. Use that speed to your advantage. A few Pokemon that pair well. I already talked about Latios and Latias, appreciating Pokemon such as Celesteela, such as Heatran being toxic. The great thing about Salazzle is if you bring it out on a Pokemon, you don't even generally have to attack. Like if I bring out Salazzle on a Tapu Bulu, and I know I'm going to switch, I don't even have to attack, even if they don't have like fire resist. I can just top kick something and wear it down. Like, what are you bringing in on this mon? It's going to be toxic. You're not bringing in Tapu Fini either with a Misty Surge. You're going to get blown back by a Sludge Wave. But Tapu Lele really appreciates Salazzle. Salazzle deals with pretty much everything that Tapu Lele hates. Heatran, unless it's like all-out pummeling or focus blast Tapu Lele, then it has to hit or has to catch the Heatran with the all-out pummeling. Salazzle really pairs well with Tapu Lele because it just appreciates Pokemon such as Heatran being worn down, just Steel types being toxic in general. Greninja loves the fact that that Salazzle just gets rid of all the Tapus. None of them can switch into that mon. So it loves the fact that Sludge Wave does that, especially with Tapu Fini and Tapu Bulu. That way Greninja can spam, Ash Greninja can spam Dark Pulse and Hydro Pump respectively. By the way, other options are also Choice Scarf or Choice Specs on Salazzle. I just wanted to mention that. I feel like somebody's going to mention that. You can run that on it, but I feel like it's kind of a waste. I think that its best set is Sub Disable or Nasty Plot. I've had a ton of success with Sub Disable, as I said, so I prefer that over like a Choice Lock option. But Greninja, awesome partner. Appreciates it getting Weakened Blues. Lander Steering Form, another good partner. One of the things that Salazzle is weak to is ground and rock, and Landers with Intimidate lets it take on rock moves, and obviously being immune to ground because of part flying. By the way, Tapu Lele and Greninja also pair really well because they're either immune to or resist Psychic, which also threatens Salazzle. But Landers gets up rocks, it U-turns out, and it baits in Pokemon such as Skarmory, such as Celesteela, which Salazzle can just get in versus and either set up a Nasty Plot or a sub versus. Likewise, Scizor loves the fact that Salazzle breaks through Metagross, breaks through, well, not really Metagross. Metagross is more like setup fodder for Scizor, unless it gets like 4 attack raises in a row, which I don't know, I've been seeing that lately. But it appreciates the fact that Salazzle gets rid of or wears down Heatran with Toxic, gets rid of Celesteela, gets rid of Skarmory, pretty much scares them out. Even wears down and beats, if it's sub-disable, it beats Toxapex. So it really does appreciate those mons being beaten down, so SD Scizor can win. Tapu Bulu pairs well because it resists ground and also resists water, 2 types that Salazzle is weak to, as well as Grassy Terrain, weakens Earthquake. So, not that you're going to want to take it, but it gets recovery back with the Grassy Terrain for Salazzle, weakens Earthquake, and deals with Pokemon such as Tapu Fini if it's an Assault Vest variant. Scizor also deals with Tapu Fini. Resisting Psychic is also amazing for that. And then, Tapu Lele. And this does resist Tapu Fini though, and it also can, if an Assault Vest, it can take on Tapu Lele. But Tapu Fini, lastly, is another great partner. It provides defog support for Salazzle, as well as being able to take pretty much every attack thrown at it. Water attacks, rock, ground, doesn't matter. That boy, physically defensive, eats up every hit. But in any case, guys, I hope you enjoyed, maybe learned something. Of course, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, follow me on Twitch and Twitter. Those links are down below, and expect a Salazzle showcase later today. Goodbye, friends.